what I'm going to do is, I'm 4 weeks into my own training at the moment on the bench. I work off a 12-week bench cycle. It's broken up into 3 sets of 4 weeks. The first 4 weeks is always high reps. It would be a minimum of 8 on one top set, always. But I could do as many as 12 to 15 reps on that set. I would push it, but I wouldn't go to failure at the same time. I do that for 4 weeks. Then I drop down to a target of 6, but that's a minimum of 6. And I keep constantly moving the weight up for the 12 weeks. The last 4 weeks of my program is always set to 3 to a maximum of 5. And if I'm coming up to that competition, I will also be doing a single for those 4 weeks, progressively getting heavier competition style at the end of my training session. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to warm up and I'm going to go up to 160 kilos for a minimum of 6 reps, but I'll probably do more. Once I get to 6 reps, I'll just move the weight for the next week, always. If I don't get the target of 6, I remain on the weight until I get at least 6. And then I move again. And that's how it's not how I've always trained it, but it's how I've learned to train that it's best for me. I only train once a week on the bench. Supplementary exercises, I do pull down, I do something always for the rear delt. And the only other bench type exercise, I don't do decline, I don't do incline, I don't do dumbbells. The only other thing I do is I bench to a 2 board for my tricep lockout. I always want my tricep overloaded, as in I can bench more off a 2 board than I can to my chest. And I find it's the only way really to overload the tricep is to use a heavier weight, so that when you're coming up and you have to kick in, that your tricep can handle heavier weight than you can actually handle off your chest. So I'm going to quickly warm up, and you can ask me whatever you want about what I'm doing, and I'll kind of talk through what I do as well. And I have the same routine, warming up all the way up to my set, same routine for everything. And the same routine in competition. I do the same thing, same timing, all the time. Like I will approach it the same way all the time. Same breathing, same everything. Okay? So I just fly through the warm up here. So.
Alright. You need to probably some more.
Not yet. I always warm up at the bar. It doesn't matter what weight. In the squat, the same. I always warm up at the bar. And I work the whole way up. I think I've Dan Jackson myself a few times before, but going in, starting up too heavy. I move the bar around on my chest as well on the light weights, just in case you go off volume in the actual, heavier weights. But you have given some bit of a warm up outside your range of movement. Like we'd say, if you come off and you go back, you can easily, if you don't warm up kind of a range with the light weight, you can be more. I think you're more likely to get injured anyway.
You said tucking your shoulders is wrong as well.
Well, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I don't do it.
Yeah.
I especially wouldn't tuck this way.
Yeah.
I would tell lads, depending on the weight, to press me onto the bench.
Yeah.
But I would remain, when I lie on the bench, I like to be relaxed. I don't go like this or anything.
Yeah.
Because when the weight comes on you anyway, it will compress you.
Yeah.
And if you get a bad spot, if the spot hits the wrong place and you're tucked, you're gone. That's what I find.
What about leg drive? Do you do that? All
I'll show you what I do with leg drive now in a second. Can I get 70 kilos?
There's only one way, Tree.
The thing I found about leg drive is, especially when you're varying platforms, I try to go away from a leg drive that does that. Do you know the way, you'd say if you're sitting down and you go to press, especially when you're at your max, and you're right up at the top, you're at the limit, a leg drive that is inclined to do that, I think it can be, you can miss a lot of lifts because of it. So what I've tried to develop, and I think it kind of works for me anyway, is I flex my body at the bottom to give me the momentum. So it's usually I do this in a heavier weight, it'd be unusual for me to do it on the light weight, but when I hit the bottom, I do a flex with my, especially with my glutes, that seems to give me as much momentum as pushing with my legs. And you're a lot less likely then to actually use your foot. And I think to lift your ass as well.
What about you no legs?
Yeah. Well, I suppose, yeah, I can roll my legs a little bit too there. You know, if you can just flex your body, it can sometimes give you that little bit of...
I break the bar. We have to go out breaking.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't as such probably do that. I know a lot of fellas say that you should. But I suppose it's more habit. I don't want you to do it.
It to be more balanced.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's the thing I don't have to... Yeah. I'm just balancing on my legs, of course, yeah.
But the way you say, like, when you come out of it from the bottom, are you actually taking the drive from the hip but pushing it down at the same time, or is it from the lat that it kind of flows out?
It's both. Like when I come down, my lats are very much engaged.
Yeah.
I would train the lats heavy enough, like. So when I come down, I can feel my lats lifting me like off the bench a little, and then it's an explosion, kind of, as much as possible. I get, I suppose, 110 or 220 now.
Actually off. Hold on. You can probably plug it up for a while, the last one. Yeah.
I suppose breathing is a big thing I concentrate on. I follow the same routine the whole time. Just before I lift off, I take 3 deep breaths. So I have my hands on the bar. It's 1, 2, 3. I exhale at the top. I don't take full breath at the top then. I actually inhale for the top part of the lift. And I'm full once I hit the bottom. And I found that gives you a better chance of a fight if you get into trouble on the way up. If you're holding, if I take a big breath here, and I come down and I get a long pause, by the time I drive off, if I stick, my breath is gone. So to get around that, when I'm on top, when I get the bench command, I'll actually take my breath as I come down. I will go, and then you're full at the bottom, just full as you hit your chest. And it's easier then if you get a long pause. But if you come to here, you still have the benefit of your breath.
You're holding it all the way up, aren't you?
I'm holding it. And once I hit my sticky point, I'm trying to hiss through it.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're through it, yeah? I just go through once, I just do the breathing. So I try to stay fast all the time. I train to be fast. I think the train to be slow, you're going to be slow.
You tuck your arms in and flare and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I come down like this. As I come up, they go up slightly.
Yeah.
They're a lot with their...
Yeah. With the heavier weight then, when I drive off, I will be very much concentrating, instead of continuing the press completely, I will be concentrating on bringing my elbows in. A bit like the same concept of when you're deadlifting, bringing the hips to the bar. I'll be thinking, I'm not thinking all the time of press, 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 press. I'm not thinking like that. I'm thinking of drive, elbows in.
Are you squeezing the bar as well all the time?
No.
No.
I don't. Well, I grip the bar, but I'm not pulling the bar.
I know they're saying you should be trying to bend it that way.
No, I don't, no.
No.
No. I'm not saying it's right or wrong not to do it, right? But
Yeah.
I just don't do it.
Okay, fair enough. One more way.
No, I just got 140 as well. I don't know.
weights?
Try on 15s.
15, sure. Yeah.
15s round up.
Anyone any questions?
Like the shoes that we watch, like the wedge in the shoes.
Usually I was in runners and I was in these, obviously, the start of it. I usually walk with platform. And then decide to choose like, sometimes the runner would have a better grip than the weightlifting shoe in some platforms. That's what I find anyway, especially if there's more kind of laminated platform.
You find the wedge would help you engage your muscles.
I don't feel it.
You never put plates under your heel, do you?
No.
Never.
Do you always warm up the laps on straight away?
Because otherwise, I'd be nice and mild. I've had quite a few days. Try to take the risk as much as possible. But if you're having too much movement here,
Yeah.
you're going to end up with the racing nerve.
Should female lifters be doing anything differently or same as men? Or?
I assume it's more or less the same. I'm not an expert on female lifting, but I can't see how it would be different.
Yeah.
I find anyway that focusing on one top set, done correctly with proper form, instead of set after set after set, works for me.
Walk up to one set all out.
Yeah. And it's psychologically it's easier too.
Yeah. That's hit, isn't it? High intensity.
It's high intensity. That's it. It's high intensity.
Yeah.
But that's what I find.
140.
So you should repeat everything always the same. Have the same pattern is in competition as well. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
You're exhaling as you come up, aren't you?
Yeah, but when you go up to the heavier weight, you'll find that you have to hold it a little bit initially, and then exhale once you go beyond the speaking point.
You don't use a belt when you bench?
No.
Never.
But see, I don't arch at all.
Yeah.
You find that it's easier. Have a bit of an arch or have a big arch might benefit from a belt, because then the back can get hurt and stuff like that. I don't get any effect on that.
But why don't you do an arch? Any reason why?
One, I can't. That's the only reason I don't want to flexible enough to do an arch. Plus, the arch shortens the range of movement, but then if you're not very flexible, and like you can see some people in the girls as well doing a very good arch. But someone like me trying to arch, it'll probably affect my stability on the bench.
And what about how wide to grab it? You use your upper limbs as the middle finger?
Yeah, it depends.
It's the same.
But you see, that's very subjective to the person as well, how wide they are, how long their arms are. But generally speaking, when I hit the bottom, my hands will be at a right angle.
Yeah.
I feel I'm under the bar where I catch the bar.
Yeah.
If I go wider,
It touches down around here.
the touch is always around.
So I fight every rep there. It was I fight every rep, so just underneath your chest.
Yeah.
You train with pause.
I do, but I don't. I used to always train my top set with pauses, so I used to do like 8, 10 and 12 pauses. But I found it used more than my shoulders. So what I do now is, we'll say for the national championships next year, on my last 4-week section, I will be doing sets of 3 to a maximum of 5. But I will be practicing the pause for the 4 weeks. Every night I bench, I'll be practicing the pause rep singles above that set again with a heavier weight. Instead of doing it all the time. Because you see, when you pause, you have to generate an awful lot of force to get the initial drive. And you'll start getting the noises in your shoulders if you do it a hell of a lot. But it's vital to practice pausing and to practice your exact competition setup before competition. And to do it not the week before, but for a month before. And kind of so that when you're coming out on your way to the competition, you're not thinking about so much the weight on the bar, because that tends, for me anyway, it fucks my head up. I think about doing my pattern the best I can do it. So we'd say, oh, the 4 nations and I was coming out for my last squat. I wasn't thinking about the weight in the bar. I was thinking, okay, get your pattern right, get your setup right, get your leg positioning right, get your breathing right, and you should be able to do it. And that's what you practice for the month beforehand. You practice the pattern.
When do you stop before a comp? A week out or 2 weeks out? 10 days?
For the squat, I do my last squat on the Saturday before, so a week before. My last deadlift on the Saturday before. I would bench maybe up until the Monday.
So it's
5 days
or something.
4 or 5 days. Benching is not nearly as taxing as squatting and deadlift. I suppose I'll go for my top set now. I got a
So
160.
is it the same schedule for massive lifters? So not a massive lifter.
I
The
think-
recovery
yeah,
will be different.
But I think that what I do, like I only train bench once a week. I get a pile of recovery. I think the massive lift is perfect. Because let's say you train your bench in the Monday, you don't have to face it again for the following Monday. You can put everything into your bench that night. And I only train 2 to 3 times a week anyway. I actually train my squat and deadlift together. I prefer to be looking forward to going into the gym and not feel tired. I won't go to the gym if I don't feel up to it. I won't go. I put it after it. It's not work.
Roughly how long per session?
Very quick. Like you're looking at my bench press session here without talking. And all I do is the bench, bit of row, pull down. I can safely out the door in an hour bed in Arlington. And that's what socialising is.
You don't say
No individual tricep up, no two script bench if you tricep up.
The only thing I would do, I'm not doing it at the moment because I've had shoulder trouble, but I would bench off the 2 boards on a different night. But I feel that doesn't take much out of me at all. But I would bench off a 2 board and I would follow exactly the same pattern, the same rep ranges and the whole lot.
That's all you use for tricep.
That's all you can tricep. You see, you can do all of these, and all of, but you're not overloading the same way as you're overloading with a big weight. Like you will bench more off a 2 board after the training with hand to your chest. And it's great by developing the tricep, but make sure the board isn't too high. You want the board below where you're bringing in your arms to lock out. You know, if it's too high, you'll be above your sticking point. You'll be above, well, I can't say for everybody, but you'll be above most people's sticking point.
You did stuff on the board.
Same thing. I would get, for the 4 weeks before the competition, I would get stop on the board for a single rep. But generally I don't.
When you do your heavy bench, how much of a rest would you take? 2 or 3 minutes?
I would easily, if not more.
Yeah, okay.
I don't rush in as
Because I
well.
used to just only do short rests, and then now I'm taking longer rests, 3 or 4 minutes, and it's working better.
Yeah, I would say 5 minutes. There was a time when I used to have a heart monitor and I swear I was waiting my pulse came down below 90 or whatever.
Yeah, back.
So like that. But you know, you get used to the feeling of when you're back to normal, shall we say. And then I go back in. But I wouldn't go back in if I was tired.
What about the diet and the supplements and all that?
Don't ask me about diet. No man's talk about diet. Supplements. I don't take powdered protein or anything like that. I would take creatine maybe for about 8 weeks before a competition.
Yeah.
I feel, for me anyway, it's the only supplement I felt, you know, that has ever made an impact on me.
Caffeine, would you try that?
Caffeine, no, besides just drinking coffee as well. But I would find that I would be able to probably do an extra rep with creatine.
With creatine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously it has a knock-on effect into your max. But it's the only thing that really seems effective.
And vitamins and
I
multivitamins?
take, yeah, or one of those.
Yeah.
What about cod oil and all those kind of things then? No interest.
Don't take cod oil, would have before, but I would eat salmon maybe twice a week. And, you know, I'd get in enough of the good stuff and eat bad stuff as well. I think if you get in enough of the good stuff, obviously you carry more weight. But you know, just to live as a... When I mentioned that, I would just move back a little bit, I want to get this each straight up. So this is my top set, 160. My target is a minimum of 6. When I'm doing a lot of reps on heavy weight,
Yeah.
I find it helps, and you know, Tom Daly would say as well, since I taught him to do it, was I break it down into 3s. So I do these like in my head. It's like a good set of 3, good set of 3. And if I do extra reps, then I treat them in singles.
Yeah. And
It's
if you,
just the psychological point, I find it easier.
and you get to 8 and it's easy, you raise the weight till it's back down to 6.
I continuously move once I hit my target at 6.
Yeah.
So even if I do 7, I move.
Right.
This,
So you go up in weight
I go up and weight always.
the next session.
Well, you're always moving in weight and moving in reps.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're starting, when I start my 12-week cycle, I start with a very easy weight. I probably do it for 15, but what I like to do is create confidence.
Yeah. You'll never miss
It's
it.
momentum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you start and you gain momentum and you're positive going into the gym because you did well last time, and it helps, everything helps, because it's very much, I think it's kind of 50-50 physical ability and mentality and your ability to be confident with the weight.
Going in confident.
Yeah, yeah.
You also lift off instead of home. You lift off yourself at home, but
No. It'll fuck up my shoulder. If I reach back and pull out, I find it,
Feel the grinding.
you feel, yeah. Okay, so hopefully I do 16 an hour. I'm a bit embarrassed.
This is 160, yeah?
Yeah. Three, 2, 1. Push.
Take it.
That was 11 and 3/4. You're going up again.
And just before I hand over to you, anyone else got any questions?
Just when you're setting up there, your body moves on the bench
Yeah.
every time. Like you always do the slide up and down like every single rep. So when you're doing your pauses, do you holding the high point or do you holding the low point?
How do we know?
When you're coming down, your shoulders move a little bit higher on the bench.
Yeah.
When you come back up, they go back low. So when you're coming down for a pause, would you pause high and then push underneath?
It's part of the momentum, you know what I mean? It's like part of the flex.
You got nearly 12 reps there, I think.
Yeah.
So what would you go up for your next session then?
I'll go 5.
5 kg?
I'll go 165 now next week. Target is 6.
Yeah.
I'll do, like I probably shouldn't have done the last rep,
Yeah.
because I don't want to go
missing
too
that.
close to failure, right?
Yeah.
But I'll do 165, and I keep going, and then it'll be 170 the week after probably.
Yeah.
But I'll only go 2.5 in when I start, when my rep range starts to come down, you know.
Yeah.
When it starts coming close to 6, I'll be more cautious. So I would say if I only got 7 there, I'd only go 2.5 to 3.
So you judge how much you're going, how much you're increasing by, how many
Yeah,
reps you're passing by.
I don't pre-program it. I go by how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I will not compromise my positivity on the bench by going too much of a jump.
And you taper down as the comp comes in. It's 12
Yeah.
weeks, isn't it? 12 weeks full.
12 weeks, yeah.
When you reach that set, then it's just one set every day, or you can one.
That's it, one set always, never more.
And then you finish the session.
I'm feeling well, I usually do my bit of rows and pull down and stuff in. And then gone.
You tend to slow coming close to the competition. Let's say you're controlling negative control on a bench press. And you
No.
try to maintain that type of thing to speed the whole time.
That's the, like, you want to create tension in the muscle, but you don't want to create too much tension to the point where you're tired. I would still be, I know I'm moving fast, like, but I'm still giving it resistance.
Yeah, I'm just saying because at that speed, majority of judges are going to leave you down there for a little bit longer because of that.
Why is
Because it
that?
looks like you're going to get, because it looks like you're sinking. Because you're not, if you're slow down, the second you touch, you're more likely going to get a good bench command.
Yeah.
If you're going down fast, they're going to hold you down there for longer, just to make sure you're motionless.
Yeah, because I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but they probably shouldn't. But I know what happens. I have that long pauses. I've had pauses where I've been thinking to myself, what's going on? And if you have that long, it's very long.
I think did you miss it?
But you see, I find that if you resist heavy weight too much, let's say if I were to pop 200 kilos and you're bringing it down and you're going like this, you have a lot of energy used coming down. and that you need it to come back up. So ideally,
You're bringing out.
Then there's enough balance, is what you're saying. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a balance. Like you might get a second longer on the bottom. You know?
What sort of percentage of your mat then is really going for your own competition?
That again?
For your mat, what percentage? How would you choose your open limits or what?
My walking lift, I haven't done a proper training session for the bench. We'd say I treat it the same way as a squat. So we'd say if we're involved in 4 nations, I would have squatted, I would have squatted 275 for 3, and I opened at 275. I would make sure I'm well down my attitude towards competition is your first one should be absolutely dead certain. You should not be one bit concerned going for it. Your second one should be 99% sure, and your third one is the risk. I take the risk on the third one. I do not want to go in and miss, definitely not miss 1. I don't ever want to miss 2. You can live with missing 3 if it's a risk. But that's how I approach it. And I would stay well down from my max, from my walker. And then you know how you feel. You know what the bench is like, you know what the bar is like, you know what the platform is like, and you can make an informed decision on what your second and third will do.
Your best ever is 220 in comp.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Again, try it with the masters lift. Would you recommend the high depth lift and master lift? Yeah. If people would be fit to recover strictly. And
But you see, I find that when you're just doing one step,
okay.
like I have tried small off and all that. And small off works, but it works short, for me anyway, it works short term. Because it destroys you. So, this is like, for me, it's very focused. You're getting a bit of everything in it, and you get a long time to recover. For me, this is actually would be ideal for masters, and it's probably the way I'll always train as I get older. I don't believe in going back in, going back in, going back in. I don't do the squat, on the squat, on top set. That's it. Okay. Anybody else?
Just, I might just put a bit of work for you, Peter, but if you could summarise that and maybe put it up on the Facebook page.
You recorded.
It's been recorded.
There's all things on video.
James, you give the man. But
what weight do you use on boards when you're doing your triceps?
on the boards, what I do is, like, say, if I haven't trained board in a while, what I do is I just work it up to where it's on a par with my normal bench. Use high reps and all that. But then from then on, you will find that you'll probably be able to do 5 to 10% more off the 2 board than you would off on your normal. So like when I did 220 kilo on the bench raw, I did 245 off the 2 board. So that's that at the top. That was that difference between them. You have to be over and above. You have to be above for tricep.
Is that with close grip or just your bench grip?
I actually use the ordinary grip.
Just your ordinary grip?
I do,
Because
yeah.
most people would assume it would be.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you vary your grip at all, or do you all, like, is it just that place now for every bench session all the time? Like, would you not vary it for a few weeks?
No.
So it's always the same place?
You see, the problem is if you start varying, say you're using your grip and you're getting on ground and you're progressing and you vary it in, you're all of a sudden in a different path. I would be afraid of injury myself because I've had trouble with my shoulders. I'm not saying it would be a wrong thing to do that, but there's a good point made here. When I'm working off the boards, I use the same grip as I do on the normal bench. I do not bring my hands into here, and that's for the simple reason your hands are not there when your tricep kicks in on a normal bench.
What's the best way then to avoid injury? Mobility and stretching and all that, or what do you do?
I suppose
What kind of stretching do you do?
I've only probably started stretching since I got back in the board of 6 months, 10 months ago. Before I used to do it, and the reason I've had problems. Like, what I found brilliant is obviously foam rolling, but also a hockey ball to get into the muscles properly. I find the foam roller doesn't impact on me enough, so I would maybe 3 days a week. I do the hockey ball, go on my back, my glutes, everything. I would lie down on the ground at home watching television on a mat, and I could spin an hour. You know? So stretching wise, my sister works in the hospital and she's a musculoskeletal specialist. She told me recently that now they think that you shouldn't stretch for power. You shouldn't stretch for 24 hours before or 24 hours after. Now there was always
Not after?
Yeah, there was always the 24 hours before.
Yeah.
But now they're saying 24 hours before or 24 hours after. So basically what that means is if you're training if you're squatting, you're stretching your upper body.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're pinching, you're stretching your lower body or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you, for power, they said it's affecting the fibers in the muscles if you do that. For power. That's what she said. I took her advice and that's what I do.
You'd wait a couple of days and then stretch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would, now I do stretch. I'm not brilliant at it, actually.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Any other questions?
See, before you win the competition there, would you find in your warm-up room, would you go to your starting points? I found, from my point of view there, I always hit the starting points in the warm-up room. So you say, when you come out into your platform yourself, you're so confident in your head, I'm not going to miss that, I've already done that there, no matter what the bar's like or what the audience like,
Yeah.
I'm so confident in that.
Yeah.
Would you feel that?
That's exactly the mentality. You, there's nothing worse than coming out onto the platform and failing or struggling your first lift. And it's the same as creating momentum in your training. You want to create momentum on the platform.
Yeah.
So your first lift should be easy.
Should be guaranteed.
Should be guaranteed. Guaranteed. And then coming on for your second lift, you're more confident, you're more assured, you're probably more concentrated. And you're right, that's it. So,
Is there any overhead work, any military press?
I did it before, I don't do it anymore.
It didn't work, did it?
Well, it's giving me trouble with my shoulders. Well, that was the cause of it. It was impacting on my shoulders. I would have...
Do you do chin-ups or pull-ups or anything like that?
No, pull down.
That pull-ups.
Yeah, pull down.
Yeah.
But like pull-ups or overhead work, there's nothing wrong with it. Just lie down too. Yeah.
You train the exact same way for all three exercises and just one or two assistants or...
Yeah. I squat and pause squat. I normal squat 1 day a week, normally on Saturday, and I do the normal deadlift. I did very little deadlift training in the past 7 or 8 years. But when I do deadlift training, I do it directly after bench press. I don't have to warm up that much till you're fairly warm. I've already done one high set of squats, and I feel the legs are warmed, and I feel you're actually more of a leg drive. And I wouldn't go very high in the reps and the deadlift. I would go max 5 reps. But I use the same pressure when I hit my target. And squat is exactly the same. Squat, my squat and my bench are exactly the same rep range and same targets. And it's one set. The only other thing I do is I do pause squats and I do think they work. I don't box squat and pause squat.
Do you vary where you pause? Would you always vary?
No,
Would
I
you always
pause
pause as well?
right at the bottom. A nice electric ball at the bottom. I find this.
That's just, you get the stretch reflex.
I would say, and it's a count of every 2 seconds. And then what I try to do is, when I hit the bottom, every bit of force, you want to come up as quick as possible.
Would you do the same kind of plan for your pause squats as your normal squats?
Exactly.
So the same progression.
Same progression. Same reference. I might do, where they are into 10 or 11. I wouldn't do that in the pause squat. But I'd sync up to 7 10. Yeah.
different day as well.
Different day. I could pause squat and bench on the same day. But I would definitely need 3 days in between the normal squat and pause squat, if not 4 days. Yeah.
So James is top of our rankings, the only guy I know to do 810 kg total raw, and I want to say thanks for that. We're going to move on to James Hickey now, who's